Hello everyone, welcome to more Let's Play Citizen Sleeper. Potentially the last bit of Citizen Sleeper Ridge. Next thing I'm trying to do... last time we met Peak and Ash, and we're trying to sort of help them. And next thing I'm going to do is work on the Briar and sort out the Flux thing for Peak. Well, actually, next thing I'm going to do is rest, because I meant to do that. I didn't. And I'm going to prepare a little bit better. So I'm going to use a stabilizer. And I'm going to try and get Cryo so I can get another stabilizer. Just to sort of try and see me through to the end. Depending on how it goes, so I'm going to do that real quick. There's nothing else I can up Tala with, so working out a bar is the only thing I can do now. Oh, I can't... Oh! Oh, that just gives me energy. Okay. Okay, well, let's, risky but not terrible. I should be safe. Ah, that's not enough cryo. I prefer neutral. I mean, I got what I wanted. And we go here to get the, yep. Stabilizer, thank you. And we should be good to go. Also, I'm starting this chunk of footage with some happy news. Ian Watkins, the lead singer of Lost Prophets, not the member of Steps, is dead. And I don't think anyone will be missed less, except for maybe Hitler. Anyway, Peak asked you to help them extract data from a node in the wastes, one that appeared after the recent events. Righto. Well, I need the data, so how the hell do I get it? Oh! And I've got the dice to match. And neutral outcome. On a maximum dice, that's a bit weird. Anyway. Oh, sorry if I call Peak him, I meant to say them, because those are the pronouns they go by. Peak receives the data on their slate and begins work decoding it immediately. Sleeper, come look at this! Peak is poring over one of the displays of the makeshift decoding suites they have set up in the Climbing Prize cargo bay. On the screen, a clump of data pathways like an ingrown root ball has started to untangle. This is an existing node corrupted by the Flux event. It's totally twisted up. They glance at you to check you're listening. But inside you, you watch as the unwinding pathways leap behind patterns of negative faces, like shadows staying behind despite their caster leaving. It's a whole other dataset. Bit jumbled up writing there, but you know, it's fine. Peak's eyes shine bright in the pale screen light. The Flux event somehow seeds this data deep into the gaps in the node, wrapping them around it. What's in there? Not sure, Peak frowns. It isn't being very cooperative. You watch the screen, the pattern of shadows becoming obvious now as each layer of pathways is pulled away. The Flux event itself really did a number on protected nodes like this one. Most of the eye systems are screened against radiation and interference, but these exposed nodes? Peak makes a ripping motion with their hands, torn apart. Peak points to a thick tangle of threads on the screen. Look, here, it looks like it's been tangled purposefully, but it's actually that all the points within the node have been randomly rearranged. It's as if the node was a bag of ball bearings and the Flux shook them. The pathways tried to account for the rearrangement once the system came back on, hence the tangle. Peak pauses as the node continues to unwind. Although, Peak muses, it was less like shaking a bag of ball bearings and more like making them all simultaneously occupy a superposition of every possible position in the bag before locking them back into a new configuration. They smile sheepishly. but that's a technicality. Does any of that help us? For now, not especially. It explains the damage Flux does to systems, but the method is an exotic one. Peak runs a hand through their hair. What we need to know is what is causing it. Where is it coming from? Got there in the end. Peak turns away from the screen, meeting your eye. And there's something else. They pause. Have you spoken to the refugees? I don't think I did that last time. No, not yet. You should. Peak lowers their voice instinctively. What they are reporting, master systems failures, cascading collapses of life support, of terraforming systems, total data corruption, Peak swallows. The Flux shouldn't do that. It can fundamentally rearrange the structure of systems, especially those poorly shielded. But totally collapsing heavy-duty industrial systems, failsafes and all, that doesn't make sense. Those kinds of systems are built for deep space, for solar flares and radiation. The Flux might penetrate them, but any reconfiguration should have been repairable. Peak looks back at the screen where the decoding node lies almost fully open. A shadow pattern of the negative spaces that existed within its scrambled interior darkens the screen, like a set of bruises showing the pattern of the object. I need to look into something. I have no idea what might be causing this wave, triggering the Flux, but I need time to research it. Can I help? Peak shakes their head. I'm sorry, Sleeper, but I want to keep this to myself for now. If you need something to do, the flotilla could surely do with the help. From what I heard from Ash, things are tense there. Where is she, anyway? Peak glances around the bay. Must be it. I've been focusing on this so I can't say I've noticed, although the quiet is nice, they smile. Give me some time, Sleeper. Peak turns back to their console. I'll have some answers soon enough. I hope. You take one last glance at the uncoiling node as you leave. The dark shapes it leaves behind somehow troubling. You try to shake them from your mind. There are things to be done elsewhere. I do hope that doing this doesn't mean it's another way out, because I want to get the ending upset on. And yeah, just let's wait. Peak's progress. Peak is researching something to do with the Flux event and seems totally absorbed. They'll let you know when they're ready. See what we can do here then. Oh, I have done something on this. Well, let's try and max it out. Let's go for this to play safe. Go, and this... I'll be happy with a neutral. Much happy with the positive, though, hell yeah. Someone told me I should be thanking you. The voice comes from behind you, cutting through the chaos of the crowded, cavernous bay. You freeze. Don't be afraid now. I've been hunting you, sure, but for all the best reasons. You turn to see bright eyes set in a rough face, framed in rusted metal. Sol, pragmatic refugee leader. Sol, he holds out his hand, the other clamped firmly around a knotted wooden cane. Going on you? Sol frowns. I didn't mean to cause offense. He withdraws his hand. Forgive me, as soon as I saw you, I knew who you were. I feel bad for not shaking his hand now. Sol puts a hand on your shoulder. I've been told the Sleeper was part of the crew that organised the supply run attempt approach several cycles ago. He pauses. A brave plan. No one was more sorry than me to see it thwarted. Walk with me, Sleeper. Sol sets off through the bay, his partial suit hissing and creaking as it helps carry him through the busy crowds. You notice people making way for you and Sol, standing back and letting you pass. As you pass down the corridors, you see people everywhere, resting against walls, squatting or crates, cooking, sleeping, watching you pass. That's a bit weirdly put together, but right. The atmosphere is overwhelming. Food's been scarce these past cycles, Sol admits. We do what we can with the stores and what we can grow on the ships, but it's a downward slope. I know a couple of places you can get food. I work at a bar. They serve good shit there. Like, just jump across the thing with me and, you know, I will lend you the credits. Sol leads you out of the larger bay into a corridor lined with storage rooms that are now serving as dorms. You see someone filling a metal container from a standpipe, the water eventually dribbling out. Sol nods to the person as he passes, but they don't look up. Their eyes are sunken and dark. Just a little further now, Sol leads you into a freight elevator and whistles to someone seen operator to start it up. The elevator jerks into life. If Havenage were expecting an exodus from the flotilla, the Flux event has to put a stop to that, Sol stretches. Some have crossed through the eye, but many just to gather salvage or score a hot meal. So the pressure on our supplies is starting to shrink cycle by cycle, but not like I'd hoped. With the flux reaching all the way out here, people are starting to understand that our journey might not be over. Sol stares grimly ahead. Well, there is a sequel to this game, so agreed. As Sol talks, and as you pass through the layers of the ship, layers of ship also works as well, you see people in every level, supplies crammed into every available space. The ship itself looks like it's bending under the strain, it's all creaking, its all panels pulled away for scrap, leaving the raw frames beneath. I just noticed, does this helmet thing have any glass on it? Can he breathe out here? Yeah. Suddenly the freight elevator screeches to a halt, and Sol leads you slowly out into a wide room of chairs and terminals, ringed by a mezzanine and with a glass roof above showing the distant hub and the far curve of the eye beyond. The people at the terminals nod at him as he enters. This is your ship? Sol nods. That's right, the Pilgrim Seed is mine to care for. He leads you up to a railed platform at the center of the room and stops. She chose me, so to speak. Well, at least her crew did, and I did my best to serve them. Sol looks around the bridge of the ship, a pained expression on his face. I'll admit that the responsibility isn't one that suits me, though we rarely get to choose such things. Glances back at you. But you, Sleeper, from what I understand, you chose to try to help us here. Is that right? I did my best to. Oh, you really did. I still feel bad about that. Sol nods silently. I was trying fucking everything. And I thought I had it right, and then I ran out of time. But I have to ask you, Sleeper, why are you here now? Sol leans back, and you feel his eyes on you, assessing you. I mean, partially the Flux event, but I do still want to help. Sol nods. I've got to be honest with you, Sleeper, I'm not quite buying it. He smiles. I'm not trying to make judgments on your character, but in my experience, people do things for more reasons than just being helpful. What, I can't just be an altruistic robot man? I have thousands of people here on the Pilgrim Seed, Sleeper, and there's thousands more out in the flotilla. He leans against the railing. A lot of them are looking to me to provide some future for them, some path out of this dead end we've gotten into. And this very cycle, the thing we've been running away from, it just caught up with us. Though these people are scared, Sleeper, and they are looking to me for reassurance. And then, on the same cycle, someone tells me they see you on board. A Sleeper, the same Sleeper they reckon that wanted so strongly to send a ship past the cord and see us. Sol scratches his beard. So the first thing I wanted to do was thank you for that, for your interest. He pauses. But the second thing I wanted to do was find out what you want from us. Sol's suit hisses and creaks. I think that's fair, don't you? Sol takes a deep breath. So what is it? And again, honesty, why the fuck not? Tell me about the Flux. Someone at a terminal calls out to Sol and he shouts some orders back. He turns to you. Apologies, he smiles that half smile. I tell you what, Sleeper, let's you and me make a deal. You want information, I understand that, but I have a list of things, a list of needs longer than the Room of the Eye itself, he grimaces. So you do some things for me, and then we can talk about what's been happening in the system, and I will answer all your questions and then some. I may be the captain of the Pilgrim Seed, and she is certainly the biggest ship in this flotilla, but I'm not the only captain here. We have ships here from each of the moons. We're from Ember's Hearth, but there's others from Ember's Song and even Ember's Step. The moons have been at each other's throats, Sleeper. What with the pressure of the Flux, the bad blood from the old days? Sol leans in. We aren't exactly all in alignment. What I need is a way to stop things escalating, for the crews on these ships and their captains to feel happy and comfortable enough to forget old rivalries and past crimes. He flinches at something. Those from Ember's Step, well, they've always been proud, but that pride seems to be a barrier to compromise right now. The last set of supplies I sent their way, they refused. Meanwhile, I have a supply shuttle at the docking access the Ember's Song ships gather at, but they've taken far too many cycles to unload. Maybe if you're heading that way, you can look in on them. I know a politician, Sleeper, but if we don't... Sol stops. He leans back and flexes his suit, screeching. He groans a little, and you see the weight of the flotilla sitting on his shoulders. The suit the only thing keeping him vertical beneath all that pressure. English. Look, you'll see for yourself if you go. Meet the other Sleeper. Do what they need to keep them aligned. He speaks through the pain, his voice clipped. Are you okay? Not really, but as long as this thing holds, he grimaces. I hope. Oh, sorry, I hope. Sol grits his teeth. You are what you appear to be, Sleeper. He smiles his half smile despite the pain. Because I'm not sure I can take any more bad news. Plus, there's plenty to be done here on the Pilgrim Seed too. If you have a moment to pitch in... If you have a moment to pitch in, there's never enough around here. That's something I've learned the hard way. Sol settles onto his cane, the pain visibly receding. Alright, I have 1,000 things to attend to now, sleeper, so you'll have to find your own way out. And with that, Sol sits at his terminal with slow and careful movements. You head back down in the freight elevator, and as you do, you see again the layers and layers of chaotic life this vessel, and all the vessels of the flotilla, hold. Oh shit, there is more. Pilgrim Seed. Pilgrim Seed support. Even Sol's own ship requires help, but figuring out what jobs need doing first and who to help is a challenge. Pilgrim Seed supply. Food is an issue on the Pilgrim Seed, even with agriculture on board. A supply of Matsutake will fill the gap. Step, Song, and Hearth. Stability in the flotilla means relieving the pressure on the refugees from all 3 moons of Ember. Hearth survival, or whether Ash got us supplies through the Gordon or not. Pilgrim Seed and the Hearth refugees on it desperately need help. I don't know if I'm going to try and make this a major thing, though. I will try to help. Oh, I don't have any more dice. Shit. Oh, I still have to do the thing, right. I saw it as well. I just thought I could, like, yeah. Still, like, bypass it. It's a strange sight, given your time spent in the Greenway. Hang on, let me do that again while going through puberty. It's a strange sight, given your time spent in the Greenway, to see a greenhouse choked in red dust. Flotilla ship, a ship in the refugee flotilla. It pulls up along edges, gathers in curving waves, and is carried by some unseen wind to whirl in front of the glass ceiling. It is a desert in miniature, a captured landscape of iron-rich sediment and unseen life. Beautiful, isn't it? The remark comes from another figure standing at the viewing window, so quietly that you hadn't noticed them. Did they just arrive, or were they here before you were? Their cloth-swaddled form reveals little. Stay silent. You catch a glimpse of a pale face among the thick material, dark eyes glittering in the red reflected light. They turn to you as the dust swells. Arky, they smile the tight smile. You're not from the flotilla, am I right? I'm kind of not from anywhere. But I do live in the Eye, so let's just be honest. Blah. But that is not where you're from, she stares into the greenhouse. Everyone is from somewhere, whether they wish to be or not. The red dust glitters in her eyes, whether it is a good place to be from or not. Arky gathers her cloak around her shoulders against the cold. What brings you to the Wind's Long Shadow? Wind's Long Shadow? This ship! Arky looks at you curiously. Do you often wander around ships you don't know the name of? You are a strange one. Arky raises an eyebrow. I don't know whether to report you or send you back to where you came from. She smiles to herself, which is nowhere at all. Oh, wrong stick. I was trying to move the left one out, which doesn't work. I was trying to look at the, I was just trying to pan the camera out a bit. You glance around the empty corridor, suddenly aware of how quiet it is on the ship. Unlike the other ships you've been on, the flotilla, Unlike the other ships you've been on, the flotilla there is a silent order to the Wind's Long Shadow. And in this moment it feels unsettling. Again, like, more commas would help. Anyway, where is everyone? Arky waves a hand. Asleep, mostly. It is night on Step, and so it is night here. She rubs her shoulders, at least for those of us who can sleep. I mean, I've heard Sol tell me a bit about Step, but I'd like to know more. Arky turns away, irritated, eager to change the subject. Hey, apparently that was wrong. You hear a creak as a set of shutters slowly begins to close around the glass ceiling of the greenhouse. As you watch, you feel the dissonance this place has with that word. There is nothing green here. A dust house, perhaps. It takes many systems to preserve this landscape, Arky begins. To simulate the wind, cycle the dust layer that's ended up beneath. You watch the dust swirling. Systems that are failing. The flux event, Arky glances at you for a sign of recognition at the term, is eroding our ability to keep this place alive. To keep these traces of Step alive. She smiles to herself. Which is ironic because when we left Step, the flux had eroded our ability to survive on the moon. Now the situation is reversed. Away from the moon, its ecosystems are as fragile as we were living upon it. Something catches your eye as the shutters darken the dust house. The winds, picking away at the dunes, begin to reveal something, a web, a network of thick branching forms, and when they close completely, Oh, sorry, and then they close completely, and you see nothing in the dark. Soft blue lights flicker on in the corridor, uplighting Aki and called Cyan. You have piqued my curiosity, but I'm so tired, Aki shivers. If you do not have a purpose here on the ship, I recommend finding one, otherwise I'm afraid you'll need to leave. Make yourself useful, and perhaps you will get another chance to talk. Or we will get another chance to talk, she turns. I would like that. With that, Aki pads away along the corridor. You stand for a moment in front of the dark dust house, trying to imagine the network of roots under the sand and dust. And then trying to imagine the moon that once housed them. Important to breathe. Gotta remember to breathe more. I'll get some Matsutake while I remember as well. Because as always, I actually just want to help. Okay, yeah, still gotta wait for that. Let's focus on the seed for now. Oh yeah, I was gonna try and get some caps. Can I get them here? Oh no, yeah, the Hive Commune? Oh god, I don't remember which one it is. It's not the Wastes. No. It is the Stacks. Yeah. No? Shit, how do I don't remember. This one? I don't want Gorilla, I get Matsutake. Sorry, I want Matsutake. How do I get it again? Oh, I have some. I think I do. Huh. Well, I say we help. Oh, that goes to both. I don't really need to bother with the mushrooms then, do I? Reroll? Oh, hell yeah. Really get some food. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get some money. Actually, no, I don't need to get money. I've got enough for a bit of food. You, that's all I wanted. Yeah, keep helping. I know, this is scintillating gameplay. And a reroll? Hell yeah. And that should be enough. Soul finds you deep in the layers of the Pilgrim Seed, working on a patch for life support vents. You hear him coming, his suit hissing as he does. I had to ask around to find you, he smiles. Seems you know the place better than me these days. I just got really lucky. I doubt it. Sol nods. I was on the work crew that built this thing, so maybe you're right, he winks. He holds out a hand. Stand up and let me see you. He pulls you to your feet. I don't believe we ever had a sleeper on Ember's hearth. Sorry, hearth. Sol looks you up and down. You sure do make me wish we had. Could have done with a few workers as good as you. Thank you. You're welcome. Seems like I owe you some answers, seeing as you've been working hard on the Pilgrim Sea these past cycles. He leans against the crate, his suit creaking. What do you want to know about? I'd like to know about the Flux. Yo, my dad. He sighs. That's what I imagined. He scratches at his beard. I can't say I'm an expert, but I can tell you what we witnessed on Hearth. At first we ignored it. A few farms had their automation systems blink out, lifter suits locked up, bots reset their schedules, nothing we hadn't seen before. But then the news came out of Passero, I hope I'm saying that right, that they'd been hit harder. The local network had gone down and no one could get it back up. It was rough for a while, but out in the farmland we were used to that. What's Passero? Capital of Hearth. Tens of thousands of souls made it their home, Sol grimaces. Anyway, we thought the Flux was a freak event until the day they got the network running again. That's when the cascade happened. System after system corrupted, data lost, and then another Flux hit, and another. The bots were running circles in the fields. People had to be cut out of their life suits like mine. And the city. I never saw it, but I heard from the others. He shivers. It only got worse from there. We couldn't seem to fight it. It cut us right open. That's why I know about the Flux. Some folks say it came from the inner system, and it might be connected to some old tech there or something, but I never heard anything more than rumours. He scratches his... Sol scratches their beard. Sorry, I don't have better news. Sol's just on the crate. Anything else you want to ask? So, does he go by he, they pronouns then? I guess so. There was something. Yeah, Ember's Hearth. Also, I think this is the first time we've had this option when we can go back and ask more things. Or, first one I can remember, it probably happened before. Sure, he smells. I mean, I spent my whole life on that rock, so I have plenty to tell. I'll save my life story for another time, he winks, but the short of it is that Hearth is the first of Ember's moons, the biggest and the most populated, which is down to the successful terraforming system Cybele set up back when Solheim owned the system. How are our relations with the other moons? Actually, no, Arky just told me that they're not good. Why did I ask that? I knew the answer to this. Anyway, Sol smiles. Depends who you've been talking to. You shouldn't mistake me for a politician sleeper. That's for others to do. He gives you a look. But Ember's Step was a test ground for the terraforming tech that Hearth was built on, while Ember's Song was the extraction site for the raw materials and energy needed to make it work. You can imagine that might lead to some tension. However, Sol holds up a hand. Despite what people might say, Hearth was never fully stable. He shakes his head. Cybele liked to talk it up, but after they pulled out and Solheim left, our people discovered they'd have to keep their systems running themselves, or the place would soon end up as dry as steppe. Hearth was good as long as the evaporators kept running. Kept filling our skies with clouds. Even after the collapse, our people kept those things going, turning that subsurface ocean into a periwinkle blue, boss, sky. Sol smiles. Flux ended that though. And when they failed, the rains failed, and the harvest with it. Sol pauses. And soon you have a city without a way to feed itself, Sol shudders. That's when we, some of us, made the decision to set out on this place. He gestures at the Pilgrim Seed, and look for another future. He shifts on the crate. Anything else you want to ask? Yeah, tell me about you. He squints at you. You want to know about me? I'm not sure that was part of the deal I was thinking of, Sleeper. Unless you're asking about this. He raps on the metal of his suit. In case you haven't guessed, this is the only thing keeping me vertical. He adjusts a shoulder piece. It's a lifter suit made for working the fields. We had to modify it so I could walk around after the accident. And that's all I'm saying, Sleeper, because to be honest with you, I don't know you more than that. You want to know about the Flux, about Ember's Hearth? Go ahead. But don't pry into my life and I won't pry into yours. Sol lets the silence sit, staring hard at the floor. The suit seems to loom over him, looking more like a burden than a support. With the bars around his head, you suddenly start to think of it as a cage. It does look like one. Look, I don't mean to be rude. Let's leave it there. There's too many eyes on me on the ship as it is, and I'd rather just slip into the background, thank you very much. No, I'm good. Sure? I'm sure. Hang on. Put it out then. Something buzzes on Bolt's also. He glances at it. Looks like time's. Oh man. Kind of wanted a bit more. Sol stands flexing against the suit. He takes his cane in his hand. Keep it up, sleeper. He smiles as he leaves. You're making me think I need to start making new plans for this place. With that, Sol leaves, and you wonder what he means. Excuse me. As he creaks away the corridor, as he creaks away down the corridor, you can't help but feel there's more to him than it seems. Is he a robot in disguise? Is there more than meets the eyes with him? Oh, right. I've got to help the other places. Dust House, what can I do on you? Only 8, things. Cool. Systems repair. The crew won't let you into the dust houses, but there are plenty of supporting systems that could do with some love and care. Make yourself useful. Arky warned you that if you wanted to learn more about the Wind's Long Shadow, you'll need to prove your usefulness. And the docking access. Unload supplies. Sol's shipment of supplies sits partially unloaded at the crew absence. Ugh. If you want to help, the best way would be to finish the job. Unfinished business. The more you offload supplies into the docking bay, the more attention your efforts need to be gaining. Right. So do I want to level that one up then? I don't think I do. Yeah, that's the axis. We want to help the other bits. Well, we go rest. We sleep. Cool beans. I'm gonna go do some work, get some cryo, get some food. I mean, it's safe, so I might as well use one of these. Fantastic. Let's use another one. And oh yeah, we can just barter for food. Thank you. And then we go. It's not here. No. Actually, what else can I do here? Nothing. I just have to wait. All right. Well. Might be useful here, at least. I do wish, like... I know it would be kind of broken if it did happen, but I do wish, like, if you ran out of dice, then you could use the recycle and just get new ones to replace the ones you don't have. Not switch them out for better numbers, just replace empty ones. I get why that's not done, because that would be kind of broken. Doesn't mean I don't want it. No, I want, you. Yes, you. No, not you, you. Might as well use this. Hoping for a positive and a bit more cryo, but I'll take what I can get. And we should be able to finish this one. Oh yeah, no, this is a guarantee at this point. I see you've been contributing. Argy stands next to you at the dust house window. I was unsure what to expect when we joined the flotilla on its voyage to the Eye, but after the journey across the system, then the quarantine, and then the flux reaching all the way up here too, Argy stops herself. Thank you. She bows a little. The other ships have only been interested in sending us supplies, but we grow all we need. She gestures at the dust house. what the dust houses need. That is the problem that concerns us. She smiles and turns to you. Shall we go inside? Is it safe? Aki rolls her eyes. Come see. She taps away at a panel by the window. Seems only fair that after your help with the support system, you get to see what it is that you're maintaining. Aki leads you to an opening beside the window. You pass through a dark changing room. You notice Aki is sliding in on an oxygen mask. Sliding on. Not sliding in on one like it's a skateboard. Sliding on an oxygen mask and visor. He looks at the swelling dust inside. Inside is just like Ember's Step. Thin atmosphere, constant dust storms. Nothing that will bother you. He passes you a mask. The dust isn't exactly pleasant to inhale, however, so take this. You hold it to your face. She leads you through a short decontamination tunnel with its fizzing panels of purifying light and then through into the dust house. Immediately the wind and the heat hits you. You feel the rough waves of dust scattering across your face and peer through the amber murk. Your feet slide on shifting piles of sand. Welcome to Step, or an emulation of it at least. Aki's voice sounds distant, echoey. The terraforming process only managed to provide a limited atmosphere around the moon, one which is slowly escaping. It's been like that since I was born, so I got used to the idea. You catch her bright eyes through the amber dust, so did everything else that lives here. You feel something hard beneath your feet, beneath the sand like a coil of rope. What's under the sand? This is Step Silk. It's one of the plants we established on Step. She kicks away some red sand. Like any bast fibre? I think it is just bast. It can be retted and woven into clothes. I'm wearing some made from it myself. I will admit, I do quite like your outfit. Like practical, but also fancy. So it's weird to be like on a desert in space. It's one of many species adapted to Step since the Solheim collapse, which is why it must be preserved. She stares out into the swelling dust. It is as much a refugee as we are, and the dust houses hold hundreds of other species. You look at the pale unassuming roots, threaded thickly through the sand. Aki watches you silently. Had enough? It'll be easier to speak outside. Aki leads you back out through the decontamination tunnel, which blasts the dust from both of you with a burst of metallic-tasting air, and into the changing room. Aki hangs up both masks, patiently waiting your questions. Why bring plants with you? Dude, we farm for mushrooms. I don't think we should be asking that, but why not? These are more than just plants. This is our way of life. Aki looks exhausted. The Step Silk cannot survive in any other conditions, neither can the others, and Step itself... Aki pauses, pulling her shawl around her. He looks small and pale inside its layers. Step was already a doomed world, she sniffs. When Solheim gave the terraforming contract to Cybele, they believed they could build an atmosphere. But the moon's erratic orbit made it impossible to maintain. By the time the Solheim collapsed, the atmosphere was already fading, and Cybele's attention was on Ember's hearth. After the collapse, Cybele fell too. Its researchers scattered across the moons, and any central organization lost. Since then, my parents' generation worked tirelessly to survive, to adapt what we had to the failing moon. The Step Silk, the other adapted species, are the life's work of the Steppes colonies. So when the flux started to collapse our computer systems, corrode and destroy our life support, our water supply, our agriculture, we had to leave. Aki sits heavily on a nearby bench. Soon, the only traces of Step will be on this ship. He begins to cry quietly. You're unsure what to do. I think just sit. I don't think it's the right time to ask the question. You sit on the bench beside her as she sobs. You understand why the ship, why the refugees from Step are so different. Their world was already dying when the flux arrived. Ember's Step is a terraformed moon. A partial atmosphere, established colonies, agriculture, and yet when the flux event started, its people had to leave. You think of the Eye, and the delicate web of decaying systems it rests upon. What hope does a ruined station have against a wave that corrupts, corrodes, and collapses? Aki interrupts your thoughts, rubbing her eyes. Not everyone left. There wasn't room to take all the people and fill the dust houses. My parents, their friends, and many others stayed. She sniffs. We carried the Step for them. Perhaps there is hope. We learn not to talk of hope on a dying world. There is meaning for them, and any future they can build with the time they have, stands up. I want you to understand the importance of the dust houses, of what they contain. She leads you back out into the corridor. If the flux events continue to reach out to the Eye, we need to build protections to ensure their safety. Aki meets your eye. What about the people? Aki looks away. We aren't idiots, Sleeper. We chose to carry this burden. We will survive. These dust houses are already decaying. I've seen it. She stares into the dust. We had thought that they would last longer, but that last flux event... Help us. Aki looks at you. Please. I will. When you're ready, we will begin the preparations for reinforcing the dust houses. We need to be ready for the next flux event. Aki's eyes shine with the last of her tears. She takes a breath. I'll see you soon. She drifts away down the corridor, leaving you alone once more at the viewing window, watching the ragged, delicate traces of the moon known as Empty Step. What can I do? Oh, I can do things, awesome. Step silk care. Improving the dust houses isn't the only way to sustain the step silk. With intuitive care, the plant can be made more resistant. Dust house shielding. Aki has devised upgrades that will protect the dust houses from both flux and their slow decay. She needs you to implement them. Preservation. If the dust houses are to preserve their closed biomes, they will need shielding against the flux and protecting from their slow decay.